Hi, I'm Aaron Tvetter, founder of Reality Emotive Systems Theory. In other videos, I talked about bubbles of reality. In this video, I'm going to talk about how those bubbles of reality interact with each other. More specifically, I'm going to talk about how two bubbles of reality can influence each other to create a cycle of emotions. To help me explain about these way that the bubbles of reality interact with each other, I'm going to tell you a story about a couple that came into my therapy office, a husband and wife, and one of them was complaining about finances and the other one was complaining about trust. And hopefully this will help you understand how these bubbles of reality interact with each other. So we're going to have the husband here and the wife over here, and the wife was the one that was complaining about finances. And the wife, here's their different perceptions of reality. So they had two different perceptions of reality. The wife had this perception that we needed to, or her and her husband needed to be careful with their money. So she had these thoughts, and this is actually a very common behavior that happens between husbands and wife that complain about finances. But this interaction they'll have, it is a common thing in therapy. It's actually pretty common in emotional focused therapy. And I've heard it called different things. I've heard them call it the infinity sign. We're going to call it just an emotional cycle. So the wife had these thoughts that we need to be careful with our money. But then she would have a behavior of telling her husband to be careful with his money. Tell husband to be careful. So once she would tell her husband this, she would go and tell her husband, then he would have some thoughts of, she's being too protective. She's not trusting me. She is protective. When the husband would have these thoughts, he would then go and have a behavior of keeping things from his wife. For this couple, the husband, he actually would go golfing and not tell his wife. So we'll put that down. He would go golfing without telling her. Of course, he got caught after a while. It's a marriage, people find things out. So he would get caught, and she would think to herself, we really need to be careful with money because you're spending it. And she would also think that she can't trust him. So we'll put that down. She can't trust him. Once she would have those thoughts that she can't trust him and that they need to watch their money even more because he's being frivolous with his money. So then she would go and have a thought of, a behavior of telling him to tell her everything he spends. Once she had that behavior of telling him that you need to tell me everything you spend, we need to have a budget and you need to talk to me about everything, he became more irritated and he would think that he was being treated like a child. So we'll write that down. He felt like he was being treated like a child. Because the husband felt like he was being treated like a child, he started to act like a child. In fact, he started to keep secrets purposely from her, and he would buy things without her knowing, and he was being very childlike because she was projecting this idea onto him. Now that the husband was keeping these secrets and acting like a child, the wife was able to trust him even less. She was being more and more in this mindset that she needed to be the one to control the finances in the relationship. So this behavior of his was actually contributing to her thoughts that we needed to protect money. And so she continued more of this behavior. And then the more she continued this behavior, it influenced him to have these thoughts that she doesn't trust him, he's being treated like a child. So he just continued to have more and more of these behaviors. These different perspectives of reality were actually influencing each other to believe in their perceptions of reality even more. It's a negative emotion cycle. We can sometimes have some positive emotional cycles. One that comes to mind is fans of a sports team. Let's say that we have one fan over here and a fan over here. We'll say one is a fan of the Oakland A's and the other one is a fan of the Giants and the San Francisco Giants. And the two of them, they have their perceptions of reality that their team is the best and that they root for their team, they buy all the merchandise, they are bought in. And when they bump into somebody with an opposing opinion, an opinion that, oh, my team's really the best, yours isn't the best, mine is the best, it actually makes each other be more motivated towards their own team. They'll have thoughts that my team is the best. So now that they have this idea in their head that my team is the best, then they go and they do a behavior of going to games and buying merchandise and kind of like putting forth this persona that I am a fan. Okay. Now that they've put forth this image that they are a fan of their team, now they bump into an opposing team fan and they start talking smack. Oh, my team's way better than yours. And then what that does is it reinforces this idea that my team is awesome and your team is lame, and they may even start thinking, so if this is the A's over here, we'll say, and the Giants over here, we'll go, A's suck. So not only is their team awesome, but also the A's suck. And then it just perpetuates this belief, which actually makes their motivation in their own team stronger, and it makes them better fans, and it just makes them happier. So in reality, this is making opposing beliefs, making their own reality happier, better, and more positive. They probably will actually get more supporters who are like, hey, I like the A's, so I'm gonna bring my friend over because I want my friend to also like the A's. Or maybe this person likes the Giants and he's talking smack about the A's, and so he's going to say, hey, I need some support to back me up on smacking on the A's. I have a friend that doesn't like the A's. Now all of a sudden, you have more people in this perception of reality. And the more people you get in a perception of reality, it strengthens that reality. And that is the emotional cycles. If you enjoyed this video, please go to our website to learn more